guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for being here. Today we are going to make a Grinch gnome. He is super easy, and if you want to know how to make him, stick around. I'll show you how. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Okay, we're going to start with a 4.5-inch pool noodle, and we're going to take a 2-inch styrofoam ball, and we're just going to cut it in half closer to the front part. And then we're going to glue this onto our noodle for his stomach. Then I'm going to take some red fleece, and I'm just going to outline the base of my noodle onto it. And then I am going to cut it out about 1/2 inch around from the edge. Then I'm going to put little snips all the way around it, and that's what's going to make it adhere to the noodle itself. Go ahead and put glue all over the noodle, and then go ahead and put it down onto your fabric, and then we're going to start gluing that around. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and attach the ball to the noodle, just towards the bottom part of the noodle. Probably leaving about 1/4 inch from the base, and then I'm just going to wrap my fabric around. Now this is a 5.5 by 11-inch piece of fabric. You just want to make sure that your seam ends right straight down the middle of his jacket. So just figure it out exactly where you need to do. Go ahead and glue it down. And then fold the other part over, making sure that it goes right straight down the middle for his jacket. And then just go ahead and glue that in. Go ahead and glue it to the noodle itself right in the front. And then just go ahead and glue that flap on down. Just make sure you spend some time to get this straight. And then go ahead and pull it down a little bit because you want it overhanging the base. And then go ahead and glue that to the base. Probably have about a 1/2 inch overhang on the bottom. Okay, next we're going to do some trim. We're going to take a 1 1/4 by 26 piece, and we're going to go halfway up on each side till they meet in the middle. And this is, I'm just using a white fleece on this one. It's kind of a little bit of a furry feel to it. Then we're just going to start right in the very front and start going all the way around. Just make sure that it does overhang the base a little bit, the bottom of it a little bit, because you don't want to see the red underneath it. Then when you get back to the middle, just go ahead and cut it off and just glue those two pieces together. And we're just going to go straight up the front to cover up that line on that jacket. Okay, then we're just going to start gluing in the top. Now go ahead and bend that over, and then we're going to trim some of the excess off here. And then we're going to do the same kind of slits all the way around so it will lay flat. And just go ahead and start gluing it in. Okay, next we're just going to attach a belt, and I'm just taking a 1/4 inch piece of black craft foam, and I'm just wrapping it all the way around. I don't have an exact measurement on this. Just go all the way around till it meets in the middle, and then just trim it off so that it is flat on the front part of the jacket. And then I'm going to take a piece of glitter craft foam, and I'm just going to make a buckle with it. So you're just going to cut a little slit off the black. And I think that was about a 1/2 by 1 inch buckle. And then we're just going to put it right over the front. Okay, next we're going to make the hat. We're going to fold it over on the 11-inch side. So the 16-inch side is the length. Cut it, mark it at 5 inches. And then you're going to draw a line all the way to the point. Then just go ahead and cut that out. Open it up, and then we're just going to glue down one side and glue those sides together. And then go ahead and open it up, and we are going to cuff it up 2 inches here. because we're going to have a 1-inch cuff on the front. So just make sure that you get it even all the way around at 2 inches. And then go ahead and start gluing that down. Now you don't have to put a lot of glue, just kind of spot glue it. And then we're going to just turn it right side out. And I'm just using some pliers because it's a little bit easier that way. And then we're going to cuff it up 1 inch in the front. And then go ahead and glue that down as well. Okay, next we're going to add some trim. We're taking a 2 1/4 inch by 14 inch piece of fabric, and we're just going to fold it over and just make sure that it's thick enough to cover that cuff. I think I'm going over mine just a little bit more than 1 inch. Just check it and then go ahead and glue it down. And then starting in the very center, just start gluing it all the way around. Just make sure you don't see any red underneath the bottom part of it. And then when you get to the back, just trim it off so that they set flush to each other. And then glue those 2 pieces together. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and make his beard. We're cutting it at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw a U shape around there to get my guide. And then I'm just going to cut behind the faux fur only, not through the faux fur, all the way around and up the other side. And then just go ahead and clean off the excess. Next, we're just going to go ahead and attach it, and we're going to attach it to the very top part of this noodle. Next, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of wire at 6 inches in length, and this is going to be for his arms and his hands. And then I'm going to mix 2 colors of clay together to make the color I'm looking for, and roll it into about a 1-inch ball, roll it out into a log, squeeze the front down and the side the opposite way. Then just go ahead and cut it into 4 sections, and you're just going to roll these between your finger until they get a little bit smooth. Now his fingers are going to be long, so don't worry about if they look a little bit long. His fingers are going to be long. Just kind of get them smoothed out there and separated. And then go ahead and do the same thing with the other hand. Then we're going to take our wire, we're going to make a little loop, and that's what we're going to stick into the back part of our hand just to make sure we hold it in. And then once you push it into your hand, go ahead and smooth it around there so it is locked in. Then after you get your hands done, we're going to bake them at 275 for 15 minutes. Just make this other hand the same. Next, we're going to take some more of the fur that we're going to do it at 3/4 inch by 1 inch, and we're going to glue this to his hands. Just come right on top where his wrist is and just kind of start pulling it down and gluing it to his hands. And we're going to trim this out in a little bit too. Then we're going to take another piece of fur, the same side, and we're going to put it on the palm of his hands. And just put plenty of glue on each side, and it'll seal it up and you won't see the seam there. Okay, you're going to do both hands exactly the same way. And then go ahead and comb them out. And then we're going to start trimming them. So you just take your scissors and go into them just to kind of trim them out a little bit without making them look like they're chopped off on the front. We're going to do the arms. We're going to fold a 1 1/2 by 5 inch piece of fabric over on the 5 inch side. We're going to meet right in the middle, and then we're just going to fold that right over to seal that in. Just make sure you don't put so much glue that you can't get your wire in there. And then just go ahead and pull it over the wire and do the same thing with the second one. Okay, then we're just going to pull these back a little bit, and we are going to attach them at the hand. On both of them. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take some trim. We're taking a 1/2 inch by 2 1/2 inch piece of trim, and we are just going to wrap this around. And then just put a little bit of glue up at the top just to hold it in good. And that's just the white fleece as well. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and attach the arms, and we're just going to make sure our hands hang over the edge of his jacket by 1/2 inch, and then we're going to attach the 2 arms with a pipe cleaner. So just wrap it around there and put some glue on it to hold it onto there, and we're going to wrap it around the other arm as well just to make sure that they stay together. Just make sure you get it exactly where you want it to be, bend his arms, because you want this to be a tight fit on these. Next, we're going to take a 5/8 inch hair noodle, and we are going to cut it at 3 1/4 inches in length for 2 different legs. Then we're going to take 2 1/4 inch by 6 inch dowel sticks, sharpen them with a pencil sharpener, and then we're going to mark them off at 5 inches. And then we're going to take our cutters and just cut that off. So we're just cutting 1 inch off the bottom of these. And then we're going to go ahead and stick them through our noodle. Just kind of twist them and they'll go in there pretty easily. And make sure they go all the way down to the bottom. Okay, next we're going to take our fur and we're going to cut 2 pieces at 2 1/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches in length. And that's going to be for his legs. So I'm just kind of marking this off, and then I'm going to cut it to the size it's going to be. And then just make sure you're cutting behind the faux fur only. Then we're going to take our leg and we are going to roll it up into this fur. And you're going to make sure that the top part of your noodle is at the top part of the fur. Then we're going to roll it around there and we are going to glue this shut. And then when we get it completely sealed in, we're going to come back down and put a bead right down the center where that seam is. And then we're going to squeeze those 2 sides together on the fur to make it all one line. It'll make it a complete piece, and then just go ahead and you can comb it out. Then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're just going to pull them on down, straight down, and we're going to put a rubber band around the bottom of them just to hold them in place. Okay, next we're going to do the shoes. We're just going to take 2 of the Dollar Tree shoes and we're going to trace them out on the same fleece that we used for his jacket. And then we're going to cut them out 1/4 inch away from the line that we just drew. Okay, then we're just going to add 2 5/16 inch nuts to each one of these. And you can get these at any hardware store. And this is just going to weight it down. And then we are going to glue them right to that fleece. Just make sure that they go down inside the shoe and then go ahead and glue them in. And then we're going to trim around these shoes about 1/4 inch from the edge. And then we're going to put little slits in it all the way around just to make it go up the side a little bit easier. And then we're just going to start gluing it in. And these are the little Dollar Tree shoes. If you can't find them, I do have a video on how to make those from scratch. Okay, next I have already created the pattern and given that to you in the description below. We're going to fold these over. And we're going to measure 1 1/2 inches from the edge, and that's where we're going to glue it down. So go ahead and glue all the way around and stop about right there where the curve in the shoe starts. And you're going to do it on both of them. And when you cut this pattern out, you are going to cut it on a fold. And I've marked that onto the pattern. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and turn them right side out. And we're going to go ahead and take our pliers up into that toe area and pull that open. And then we're going to come back in with some polyfill, and we are just going to fill those up to make those firm. We want it to have a little pointy end for like his elf shoes. Just take a little bit of the polyfill and just go ahead and take some tweezers and just stick it right down into that opening. Okay, then we're just going to go ahead and slide them right over the top of our shoes, and we're going to start gluing those in. So just go all the way down to where you are right at the edge of the bottom, and then just start gluing those in. And then we're going to glue the top in here in a little bit, but just make sure that you do get them flush with the bottom because we're not putting another piece of trim around the base of them. Next, we're going to take some more of that white fleece and we're going to cut a piece that's 4.5 by 1.5, and we're just going to fold it straight over and glue it down. Now on the part that's got the raw edge on it, that's going to go towards the bottom of the shoe. And we're just going to start right in the back. And we're going to go up a little bit over the edge of that shoe and glue that all the way around. You just want to make sure it is lifted off that shoe, probably about 1/4 inch. And then meet in the middle and just go ahead and glue that in so that it does look like just one solid piece. And do the same thing with the other one. And then we're just going to add a little jingle bell to the toe of each one of these. Okay, next we're just going to go ahead and glue our leg right down into those shoes. Just go ahead and add a big dollop of glue into the bottom and glue them in. Now just make sure that the seam part that you had is in the back part. And then the same thing with the other one. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cut open the bottom just to make it centered on both sides, and we're going to attach our legs to our body. Once you get them exactly where you want them, then we're going to go ahead and pull them back out and we're going to glue them in. Okay, next we're going to just go ahead and attach the arms. We're just going to pull them right up over the top, put them in the center, and we are just going to glue those in. So just put a big dollop of glue on both sides and just hold those in until they're dry. Okay, now we're going to add some pipe cleaner to the hat. We're going to take two 12-inch pieces of pipe cleaner, roll them together, and bend them over. And that's what's going to go into the top part of our hat. And then go ahead and twist the bottom as well so it stays together as one piece. We're going to put a little bit of glue right on the top. Just make sure you go straight down to the end. And then we are going to glue that down to the back of the hat. Okay, now we're going to take our body and we are going to attach, we're going to bend two pipe cleaner over together. And we're going to glue those right in top. And these are going to stand out of the hat about 3¼ inches in length. So make sure once you get them all the way in there that they still are sticking up about 3¼ inches. And then on the second two, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do those on the opposite side. And then we're just going to glue those in as well. We're going to glue the two tops together. And then we're going to glue in the sides. And this is just going to give it a little bit of a dome on top so that the hat does not just crush down on him. Okay, next we're just going to attach our hat right over the top. Figure out exactly where you want it, and then we're going to go ahead and attach his nose. We're just going to attach a 15 milliliter bead right to the very center. And then we're going to put a little jingle bell onto his hat. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach some eyebrows to him. I'm just going to go ahead and take a little 1/2 inch piece by about 1 inch and fold it in half. And just kind of pull it to the eyebrows, kind of stand up straight. And then we're going to trim those out a little bit too with the scissors. Just kind of going right into them just to kind of thin them out a little bit. Because he does have pretty bushy eyebrows. And then we're going to glue those straight to the top part of it, right below the top part of his hat, onto his hair, onto his beard. And then just glue them in. Just make sure they match. Then we're just going to go ahead and glue the back part of his hat down, and that's the only spot we're going to glue it down because there's nothing up in there that's going to come out. Next, I took just a little ornament. I'm just going to tie it onto a piece of baker's twine, and I'm just going to attach that right between his fingers. It's just tied in a knot, and then we're just going to glue it in. Okay, so there's the Grinch. If you want to see me do Max the dog, leave it in the comments below. If you like these kind of videos, hit like. If you want to see future videos, hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I have another video, hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.